Hello to Our Lady's Aspel School and Wigan Athletic Community Trust. I'm Tom Palmer, and you sent me some questions which you did via Twitter, and thank you very much for them. I've written them down here, which can you see, and I'm now going to answer them. But first of all, thank you very much for asking them, and they're really good questions. Right, who is my favourite author? My favourite children's author, hang on, I'll show you. Hang on a minute. Sorry, right. My favourite children's author I can't find because my daughter's been reading them, but they are the Anthony Horowitz, Alex Rider books. I really enjoy them. And my favourite ever book is called Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And this is sort of about crazy people who, crazy families who live on the moors. If you look to your east, you can see the hills, which is sort of quite near where I live, and that's set there, as you can see, those beautiful moors there. So next question was, that was a question from Alex. This is also a question from Alex. How long did the missing trophy take to write? So it's quite short, as you know, and it probably took me about, it was quite quick. It probably took me like an hour, but then I probably spent 2 more hours checking it and editing it and making it good. Then I showed it to my wife, and she made some comments about it, and I tried to make it better. So it's sort of I work on stories like that and spend more time rewriting them than I do actually writing them in the first place, which is really important, which I'm sure you know, when you're writing, is to spend a lot of time editing and making them more readable. And I think the last question from Alex was, if I'm correct, what would you do if the man in black was real? Or that might be Amy's question, I can't remember, but one of you two. The man in black kind of was real. Hang on. This book is set in Russia, and it's about Danny and Charlotte, who try to solve crimes in the world of football. And I went to Moscow to research this book, and when I was there, I was followed by an individual, and the story, the man in black story, is kind of an imagining what would happen if he followed me home. In Russia, sometimes people from other countries are followed, how should I put this, because their government is interested in who they are and what they're doing. And some people who come to this country are followed when they come from other countries by our secret services. So it's not just Russia that does this. But I pretty much knew someone was watching me, so I sort of exaggerated that and had them follow me back to this country, which I'm pretty sure didn't really happen. Amy, hello again, Amy. Are David Luxton and Ollie Lane actual enemies? No. I suppose the England, it's a good question. The England and Russia, put it on the brain. The England and Australia cricket captains are kind of have to be enemies on the cricket field, but I'm sure in off the cricket field they really respect each other, but they kind of have to be enemies because they are their team sports against each other, and you can kind of have a fierce rivalry, but also respect and be friends as well. But actually, those names, David Luxton, I chose that name because my agent is called David Luxton, and he loves cricket. And I also know a boy called Ollie Lane, who's my wife's godson, and he lives in Australia. So I name them after real people, which I often do. What inspired me to write books? Right, so lots of different things. So, for instance, these new books that I've got out, these, which you might notice the lovely shield I've got that I use to promote them. These are inspired because I became interested in history, like the Vikings and the Romans. So, for instance, I went to the Roman amphitheatre in London to have a look at it, and I also went to the Colosseum in Rome. And I thought, what if the ghosts of the amphitheatre came back to life and haunted the modern world? And the same story goes for this. This is inspired by walking past the football stadium when I come home at night, which I do, and if the floodlights are on, it looks quite spooky. So they're often inspired by real things that I'm interested in, or that I've been reading about or studying and stuff like that. Oh, sorry, I messed up with the questions there. But so that's where I got my ideas from. Sorry. What inspired me to write books as a whole was, going back to the previous question, which I didn't answer correctly. I didn't like. I think when I met you all, I explained I didn't like reading when I was younger, but once I did start to like reading, I loved reading. I'll show you now. These are some of the books. These are some of the books I started reading when I was got into reading, and so books like where is it? Books like Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. Books like this is one of my favourite authors. He's a Spanish author called Juan Goytisolo, but also children's authors as well really inspired me. Put that back later. So I really like a children's author called Anthony McGowan. So those authors, those people, were the ones that that inspired me, because I read their books and I kind of wanted to be like them. So that inspired me to be a writer. Right. And that's the end of the questions. You also sent me some really nice comments about the stories that I write. So thank you very much. That's it. Thank you for asking those questions. It's been lovely to see you all again since we met at Wigan, and I hope the rest of your work with your teachers and with Wigan Athletic Community Trust go well. And thank you very much for getting in touch. See you later.